The Journey of Emma, a tale of relentless consistency. Before starting the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. The Spark of a Dream. Emma Clark was born in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and whispering trees. Her family wasn't particularly wealthy, but they had enough to get by. From a young age, Emma was drawn to the world of art. She loved the way colors danced on a canvas, blending together to create stories without words. Her mother often caught her sitting by the lake, sketching the world around her: birds, trees, the soft ripple of water. To Emma, the world was a giant canvas, and her heart longed to paint every corner of it. But Emma's dream of becoming an artist wasn't one that the world around her valued. Art doesn't pay the bills, her father would often remind her. You need a real job, something stable. His words echoed the sentiments of their small village, where everyone worked practical jobs. Farmers, carpenters, shopkeepers. Art was seen as a hobby, not a career. Despite the discouragement, Emma couldn't let go of her passion. She spent her free time drawing, sketching, and painting, even though she had no formal training. Every evening after her chores were done, she would retreat to her tiny bedroom, where she had a small wooden easel and a collection of old paintbrushes gifted by her aunt. Her dream was simple. She wanted to be an artist, not just any artist, but one who inspired others, who painted the world in a way that made people feel something deeply. Emma knew that becoming a successful artist would not be easy. There were no art schools nearby, and her family couldn't afford to send her away to study. But she had something stronger than resources. She had determination and a sense of consistency that burned within her. A slow and steady path. At 18, Emma decided to leave her village and move to the nearby town of Glenwood. It wasn't a bustling city, but it was larger than her village with more opportunities. She found work as a waitress at a small cafe, earning just enough to pay for a tiny room in a boarding house. The work was tiring, and the hours were long, but Emma didn't mind. Every night after her shift ended, she would spend hours painting in her room. Her hands were often sore from carrying trays all day, but the moment she held the paintbrush, the fatigue seemed to melt away. Her routine became her anchor. Wake up, work at the cafe, paint, and repeat. She painted landscapes, portraits, abstract pieces, anything that came to mind. Her room was filled with canvases, each one a reflection of her evolving style. She wasn't sure where her journey would lead, but she knew that consistency was her only ally. Months passed, and Emma's artwork slowly improved. She began sharing her paintings on social media, hoping that someone might notice. At first, there was little interest. A few likes, a couple of comments, but nothing significant. Still, Emma didn't waver. She kept painting, kept posting, and kept believing in her dream. Her following grew, slowly but surely, one person at a time. One day, a local art gallery announced an open call for new artists. It was a small gallery, but Emma saw it as an opportunity. She gathered her best pieces and submitted them, hoping for the best. Weeks went by without a word, and Emma began to doubt herself. Maybe her work wasn't good enough. Maybe her father had been right all along. But then, just as she was about to give up, she received a letter from the gallery. Her work had been accepted for their upcoming showcase. The taste of success. The night of the showcase was one of the most nerve-wracking moments of Emma's life. The gallery was filled with people, artists, collectors, and art enthusiasts. Emma stood by her paintings, her heart pounding in her chest. She watched as people examined her work, whispering to one another. She couldn't tell if their words were kind or critical, and the uncertainty gnawed at her. But then, something miraculous happened. A woman in her late 40s, dressed in a sleek black dress, approached Emma. "These are your paintings?" the woman asked, her eyes scanning the vibrant colors on the canvas. "Yes," Emma replied, her voice trembling slightly. "They're beautiful," the woman said, a smile spreading across her face. "I'd like to buy this one." Emma's breath caught in her throat. She had sold a painting before, but never at a gallery. Never to someone who seemed so genuinely interested in her work. The woman handed her a business card. "I run an art studio in the city," she said. "I'd love to talk to you about collaborating on a project." That night, Emma sold 3 of her paintings. It wasn't just the money that mattered, though it certainly helped. What mattered more was the validation, the recognition that her work had value, that her dream wasn't impossible. The climb. The following years were filled with both triumphs and challenges. Emma's consistency never faltered, even when success seemed elusive. She continued working at the cafe, but now she had a growing number of art commissions. She participated in more gallery showcases, sold more paintings, and even began teaching art classes on the weekends. However, the path to success was far from smooth. There were times when Emma felt like she wasn't progressing fast enough. She saw other artists rise to fame seemingly overnight, while her journey remained a slow climb. Social media was filled with success stories of young artists being discovered, their work going viral. But Emma knew that comparing herself to others would only distract her from her own path. Instead, she focused on her routine. Every day, she painted. Whether she felt inspired or not, whether her work was selling or not, she painted. Some days, the process felt like a struggle. Her brush strokes were clumsy. The colors didn't blend the way she wanted, and nothing seemed to come together. But even on those days, Emma didn't give up. She believed in the power of showing up, of doing the work, even when it felt difficult. Her persistence paid off in ways she hadn't expected. A few years into her journey, she received an email from an art collector in New York. He had seen one of her pieces online and wanted to commission a large mural for his private gallery. It was the biggest project Emma had ever undertaken, and it came with a hefty paycheck. More importantly, it was a sign that her consistent effort was finally being noticed on a larger scale. The plateau and the push forward. Success, however, didn't mean an end to the challenges. After completing the mural, Emma found herself at a plateau. Her work was selling, but not as frequently as she had hoped. She wasn't gaining as many followers online, and gallery invitations had slowed down. The initial rush of recognition had faded, and Emma began to wonder if she had peaked too early. Doubt crept in again, whispering in her ear. Maybe this was as far as she would go. Maybe her art was just good, not great. But then Emma remembered what had gotten her this far: consistency. She reminded herself that success wasn't about constant upward momentum. It was about persistence. She had come too far to give up now. So, she doubled down on her efforts. She experimented with new styles, took risks with her work, and sought feedback from other artists. She attended workshops, networked with more people in the art world, and continued to post her work online. Emma understood that growth wasn't always linear. Sometimes it required pushing through the plateaus. The breakthrough. 5 years after her first gallery showcase, Emma received an invitation to participate in an international art fair. It was one of the most prestigious events in the art world, attended by collectors, critics, and gallery owners from around the globe. This was the kind of opportunity that could change the trajectory of her career. Emma spent months preparing for the fair, creating her most ambitious pieces yet. She poured her heart into each painting, determined to make an impression. When the day of the fair finally arrived, she was both nervous and excited. Her booth was one of hundreds, and she knew that standing out would be a challenge. But as the day went on, Emma realized that her hard work and consistency had paid off in more ways than she had anticipated. People were drawn to her booth, captivated by the depth and emotion in her work. She made several sales, but more importantly, she connected with influential people in the art world. A well-known gallery owner from London expressed interest in representing her, and a prominent art critic wrote a glowing review of her work. By the end of the fair, Emma had secured not just sales, but opportunities that would propel her career to new heights. Her work was featured in several magazines, and she received invitations to exhibit in galleries around the world. The power of consistency. Years passed, and Emma's career continued to flourish. She was no longer the struggling artist who worked at a cafe to make ends meet. She now had a thriving career, with her paintings selling for thousands of dollars and her work being featured in galleries worldwide. She had achieved the dream she had once thought was impossible. But when people asked her how she did it, her answer was always the same: consistency. It wasn't about talent or luck or being in the right place at the right time. It was about showing up every day, doing the work, and believing in her dream even when it seemed far away. Emma's story became an inspiration to others, especially young artists who were just starting out. She began giving talks about the importance of consistency, sharing her journey and encouraging others to stay committed to their goals, no matter how difficult the path seemed. In the end, Emma's success wasn't just about becoming a renowned artist. It was about the journey she had taken, the years of hard work, the countless hours spent painting, the moments of doubt, and the small victories along the way. Her story was a testament to the fact that true success comes not from talent alone, but from the relentless pursuit of one's passion. Looking back, now in her 40s, Emma stood in her studio, surrounded by the paintings that had defined her life. She had come a long way from the young girl sketching by the lake, dreaming of a life in art. Her journey had been filled with challenges, but she wouldn't have had it any other way. Looking back, Emma realized that her consistency had done more than just build the successful career it had shaped her as a person. It had taught her resilience, patience, and the importance of focusing on the process rather than the outcome. And in the end, it was that consistency that had made all the difference. Epilogue: the legacy of consistency. Emma's story spread far and wide, inspiring not just artists, but people from all walks of life. Her message was simple, but powerful. Success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, or the right opportunity. It's about showing up, putting in the work, and staying consistent, no matter what. Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, a student, or someone pursuing a personal goal, Emma's story is a reminder that the road to success is often long and filled with obstacles. But with consistency, anything is possible. If you are enjoying this video, please subscribe to the channel